Hi friends, pull up a yoga mat, let's do yoga. Come to sit in a comfortable seat for you. And you know that means you might be on your bed, you might be in a chair, you might be on the floor, and you're welcome to prop as it suits you. Maybe some cushions underneath your knees. If you have blocks, they can be helpful, and if not, no worries. So this is one seat. Another seat is to come up on your heels. And sometimes we bring the knees a little bit apart. And sometimes we like a block between the feet, the wider way or the longer way. Completely up to you and what works for you in this moment. Sometimes we also like a bit of blanket underneath so that our ankles feel supported and or in between upper and lower legs. This bit is called Brighten Up from the Kundalini school of yoga. We bring our hands out. If you don't mind, your fingertips push into the top of your palm. Some call it the ridge of your palm, and your thumbs come out. And we find our breathing. And maybe you'll inhale more than you think you can. And maybe you'll exhale more than you think is possible. And finding another exhale, excuse me. That would be an inhale, depending on where you are with your breath. And we'll start after an inhale with breath of fire. It looks like this. So your navel center, otherwise known as the belly button, does a little pull in and up. It's soft and it's fast. And when you're ready, you begin. And if you need a break, you take one. And if you would just prefer to breathe slow and steady, that is completely up to you. I'm going to start after my inhale. Releasing the exhale, find your inhale. If it suits you, hold the breath while you bring the thumb tips to meet overhead and breathe. Find your breathing. And on the next exhale, let your fingers open and your hands come down to center space and you breathe. And releasing. So the idea is when we lift our arms up and over our head, it lifts our energy. So it's a little brighten up for you there. And the next part will move into a set or a kriya, again a Kundalini practice to encourage balance for mental and emotional bodies, with the idea that we're made up with all of these different parts, and it's good to find balance, right? So if you'd like to come to stand, you may, but you know you can find this from your chair or your bed as well. This is called Miracle Bend, and I'm going to come up to my stance. Let me move back so you can see me. And let's see, if I move sideways, you might be able to see what will happen here. The arms will come out in front of you, and then the arms will reach up and overhead, and you're welcoming some space, particularly in the mid-back, but everything that's below you, your feet, your low legs, your upper legs, your low back, is supporting this opening. So your hands actually might reach up and back, and then depending on how your neck is feeling, your gaze might be forward. I have my feet a little wider than my hips here. Some people might feel better hips width. Your gaze might be forward and down, forward and across, or forward and up, and sometimes we gaze up to the thumbs. And it's a slow, steady breath here as you invite Miracle Bend. Maybe play with how your feet are feeling in your stance. Where are your toes? Where are the four corners of your feet? And as you're ready, an exhale could start to bring you about halfway forward. And some of us are just more comfortable at the halfway point. So if you wanted to have a piece of furniture that won't move in front of you or the wall, you could find that. Keeping your upper back at that halfway point for a moment, your hands begin to release toward whichever you're reaching for, whether it be your blocks, the mat, your furniture. And now maybe you become a little more ragdoll-ish. And we'll work with another breath work here. So let me turn so you can see. After an inhale, we're going to pump the belly. At least that's the invitation. If you're not comfortable with it, please stay with a slow, steady breath. So your inhale begins, and then that navel center again does a pump in and up. And when you need to breathe, you exhale. And then you do a pump in and up again. And then you breathe again. Pumping. Breathing. Pumping. Breathing. Pumping, breathing. Let's do a few more, if it suits you. Releasing your breath, finding your breathing now. And again, becoming a bit more ragdoll-ish. Your feet might come a little bit wider, and you might imagine moving up the front of your feet. And then maybe you'll imagine moving up the front of your legs. And as your ragdoll body comes up, maybe you'll imagine being able to stack one backbone, one vertebra on top of the next until you come all the way up, and you find your shoulders, your neck, your chin, the back of your head, the crown of your head. Finding your breathing. And for this next part, the invitation is to bring your feet, let me move my shawl so you can see, a bit wider, so you could go as wide as the mat or even wider if you like. Bend your elbows and your hands are pretty relaxed here. And then your hips begin to make circles. So your legs, if possible, are staying long, and your hips are circling from one side to the other, waxing and waning, as I like to say, reminding us of our phases. The moon changing phases every night to night and a half or two. And so, perhaps encouraging patience with our phases. So if you were seated, maybe you would find a way to circle your hips in your seat. Finding your breathing now. Remember, the hands are relaxed, the elbows are bent and near your side body. And next time you come center, perhaps you'll pause a moment and reverse your circles. And as you come center, perhaps you'll pause a moment, releasing your arms. And the last bit of this set invites us to create arm circles. So I'm going to move away from the wall, and hopefully you'll still see me. Your feet can place as you wish. Feel sturdy in your stance. And one arm can reach up and back. Sorry, I'm a little cut off there. And then other arm can reach up and back. And maybe you'll invite that upper back bend. And then your upper body starts to come forward. So for sure you could do this in a chair, right? Or standing, if that's where you're at. And when you reach the halfway point, you start to come up again. Finding your breathing. And next time you come up, perhaps you'll release, finding your breathing. And we'll come on down to the mat, however you can get there, finding your seated position as it suits you, perhaps bringing hands over your heart center. And while we're in the midst of at least a few different holidays or holy days, depending on how you look at them or how you practice and celebrate, and let's remember to trust our wise inner teachers. With Ong, O-N-G, Namo, N-A-M-O, Guru, G-U-R-U, Dev, D-V, Namo, N-A-M-O. Join in, listen in, mentally recite as you like after inhale. Om Namo May we learn to trust the wise one within us. May we learn to trust the wise ones amongst us. Happy holidays to those who celebrate. Peaceful holy days to those who celebrate. Whoever you may be, thank you for sharing this brief Kundalini practice with me. More to come. Sat Nam, truth. May you have truth. May you be truth. May you share truth. This video is made with someone in particular and their practice in mind. If you are needing or wanting more explanation, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see if I can put a little bit more about the breath work in the description in case that's helpful. Take good care, friends, and I'll be back soon with the second part.